So it got all right, so it's black, right? And it got the Mortal Masters 100 because it's 100 episode, right? Then in the back, it got Mortal Masters, the logo, so you can see it right there. And then you got this right here, fire, 100 episode. It's the dopest thing about it is though, look at the sleeve. So all of these that you see, Mortal Masters logos, it's not just logos. Like this one right here, it says Concrete Roses. You can see that or not. So we got the title of each Thinking Out Loud on each one of them. Or on the back, I got Stirring the Pot, episode 31, no episode 81. It's funny because 81, I got 81, but I locked it. So like I was telling her, I said, you know, some of the episodes I locked because either I messed up or it was blurry, but I did it. Like at 81.5, I got, so it's one I got, I just don't, I put clips out of it, but you don't see a full episode of it. You know, I do this sometimes with my kids and stuff like that. So yeah, this is dope. This is fire. I like this. So shout out to her for this. I'm waiting on episode 100. Fire. Limited edition. That's dope. Let me check it. It came with not instruction. Well, yeah, instruction, but it says a little card. It says, congratulations. I just wanted to take a moment to let you know how much I appreciate your work on Thinking Out Loud. Your podcast has been a constant source of inspiration and thought-provoking discussion for me. Your ability to tackle complex topics with such clarity and insight is truly remarkable. To show my appreciation, I made a custom sweatshirt for you with the name of your podcast and the first 99 episodes listed. I hope it serves as a small token of my gratitude for the countless hours of content and wisdom you've shared. Your dedication and passion shines through every episode, and it has made a significant impact on my life and the lives of many others. Thank you for all that you do. Keep up the amazing work. Know that you have a loyal fan cheering you on every step of the way with heartfelt appreciation. Q, the owner of the Beauty Locker. That was dope, man. This is fire. Fire as hell. Mic check. Mortal Masters Podcast, show's main course. We here with another Thinking Out Loud, man. First and foremost, I want to thank all the supporters, listeners, everybody who shared the podcast, listen to the podcast, enjoy the podcast, comment on the podcast, like the podcast when I post my reels and my stories, and just give me feedback. Definitely wouldn't be able to get to this milestone at this point 100% without you guys. So clap it up for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Clap it up for me real quick. All right, let's clap it up. Whoa. Mic check, man. This is Thinking Out Loud number 100, okay? Big milestone for me. I had a couple ideas in mind that I wanted to do in order to make this to fruition. Some things didn't work out, some things fell through. We tried some things, didn't really pass at doing those things, so I said we're just gonna keep it simple, do it the normal way, and now we're here. I put a video in the beginning, but this is my sweatshirt. Hold on real quick. You know, Mortal Masters 100 limited edition. Shout out to her. Shout out to Q, man. This is the Beauty Locker. And every flag you see here, it has a Thinking Out Loud episode. So it's all 99 episodes. So this is a special edition hoodie. Sweatshirt, and it's dope. But I put a video in the beginning of the episode. So yeah, man, shout out to her. This was dope gift, man. One thing I did want to do, I wanted to involve creators when I first started doing, when I thought about doing a Thinking Out Loud 100, and it was just too many hands in the pot, too many creators, too many ideas, and I got a headache and I stopped. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. So what I decided to do, right, was have 100 questions, and then I realized that fell through. That was too long. I'm going to go ahead and do 100 minutes. Okay, probably starting from now. So I'm at 2 minutes. Wait till I'm at 3. So I do 103. Wait till I'm at 3. I got 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, here we go. So we're here now. What I'll be doing is I got a bunch of questions here. So what I'll do is I'm gonna go down the list. I'm just ask all the questions. I'm gonna answer them and we'll go from there. If I get through it, cool. If I don't get through it, it's whatever. But at this point, I'm ready to be over 100 so I can get to what I want to do. One thing about thinking aloud is they're very therapeutic to me, very, very therapeutic. So when I can't do it, it's like I'm holding in information, holding in stress, holding in things that uh, thinking out loud is like a release to me. So I can release ideas, release thoughts, release feelings and how I feel about things, and then move on. Right now, I got a lot bottled up because for months now I've been holding on to trying to do a big episode and I never did. So, um, man, we're gonna start from the back because my guy Juanito got some questions, man. So shout out to Juanito, man. I'm gonna go ahead and ask his questions first. So, how does it feel to be at the 100th episode? It feels amazing. I'm not gonna lie. 100 episodes, 100 of anything, it just seems like consistency. It feels like you did it. It feels like it's something that you kept doing, that you tried to perfect. 100 of anything, 100 jump shots, 100 push-ups, 100 jumping jacks, 100 trips around the sun. Like all 100 anything is a lot, and it signifies a lot. And to me, just being 100 signifies dedication. It signifies what it means to me that I did 100 of these, and it signifies how much I like to do it. Also because this was started out as just something I was going to do in between time, in between releasing content when I couldn't do it, and I started to do it as just an addition to whatever I was doing. So it started as a plug-in, but it became an addition to whatever I was doing. So now, thinking out loud is just synonymous with more to masters as my interviews are with thinking out loud. So that was dope. Let's get to the next question. It says, did you ever see yourself getting this far with the series? And do you have a favorite episode so far? So I can't say I saw myself getting this far with the series, but I can't say I didn't because I'm very consistent in what I do. But I did start to do this just on a whim. I wanted to do something just to do it, just so when I don't have guests, I can still put content out. That was the idea behind it. Also, shout out to Dorian Harris. He had commented on the status I post. I joke a lot, especially when it comes to rappers. Everybody know. I know. Damn, what the hell? Okay. Everybody know I don't really care about rappers. And I would say things, and I think the artist version of Dorian was like, you got a voice, so not saying don't say these things, but maybe you can try to help the artists and help individuals kind of get your kind of ethic, hard work, your mindset. So when I started thinking aloud, even the first one, I'm talking to artists saying, hey, you need to start doing this. You need to start doing this. That's why you get the episode like Motion, where I'm talking about people have motion and what's motion and all that stuff, because I need artists to understand that and why that's important to have, why it's important to keep moving, why it's important to have things rolling, because you're gonna have your dry spells, you're gonna have your creative lockouts. You're gonna have those. So Dorian also helped with the idea of me starting thinking out loud, and then when I started to do it, I said, okay, what's something I can do in between time to kind of give game, but it started to be something I like to do, and it became therapeutic as hell. For the favorite episode, if I had to pick one like right off the bat, it'd probably be the Augusta supports popularity, because that's like a common theme in the city to talk about. So I think ideally I would pick that one, plus my drops. I had the drops. I had a lot of clips. It went up. I had gotten to it with somebody and I posted stuff, and then the very next day the video dropped. So it kind of went like hand to hand, because I feel like you got to talk about stuff while it's hot. So since that was going on and I dropped the video the next day, I think the person ended up unfollow me and something like that. I don't know. A lot of things happened, but that's probably my favorite one, just because of the impact it had at the time, and the fact that I know that next year, the year after, the year after, and the year after, anytime that topic come up, I can put that podcast and anybody link and say, y'all need to shut the fuck up. Augusta doesn't just support popularity. And that's my thoughts. And that's my really feelings. And I felt that way ever since before I became popular. Hopefully I can hear the paper. That'd be nostalgic if I can hear the paper. What's the best feedback you got from an episode? I can't pick one, but I will tell you this, man. I got a friend named Antonio, and I remember hiring him when I worked at Aiken, and we had a rough spring. We had a lot of corporate visits. We kept getting visits at the visit. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's more stores than the Aiken store. And it was a rough spring, man. When everything had to be perfect, everything had to be right. And I remember one day he hit me. I was working with him. We was talking, and he was like, I ain't gonna lie, that thing you do, that thinking out loud you do, that kind of got me through. Like, I was gonna quit mad times, and I never quit because of the stuff you were saying and you're thinking out loud. And the reason why that mean a lot to me, because when I do my thinking out loud, it's like I'm talking to myself sometimes. In this camera, I'm like, I always say I talk to and through. I talk to people and through people. So I might talk to the camera and might mask a situation or mask a message, but I'm talking to somebody. But I'm also talking through somebody. I might use you as a means to get through to that person. So I might use your situation to get to that person. So I'm talking through you. And I like to do that. And in those moments, I was also damn near this far from quitting and stuff every day. And so I would talk to the camera and give, motivation to myself. And for him to say that it helps him was like, damn, hell, hey, I was thinking I'm trying to build myself up, but I'm building my team up, I'm building somebody up that's watching me. And honestly, I didn't even know he was watching me at the time. I didn't know nobody knew I did podcasts because I never speak about it at work. So that was dope, man. So that's probably the best kind of advice I got so far. I understand that when you originally started the series, it was because you were taking a pause on putting out content. I believe because of work and a few other things going on. What has been your intention on the episodes since then? Like I said, yeah, it was something I wanted to plug in, just do here and there, but it's become something that I love to do. I like doing Thinking Out Loud, sometimes more than episodes, because episodes of the clash of personality. I gotta learn that person really quickly. I gotta kind of get to know them in the beginning, and then make sure I paint the picture still, and then try to be funny, and then try to be educational. You try to make personalities come together that may not be able to come together. So it's a little hard. It's harder work sometimes dealing with other people or interviewing somebody, as opposed to me coming in here and setting the camera up and just going. That's all Thinking Out Loud is. I'm coming, setting the camera up. I'm going. I'm freestyling. I might have some ideas I want to talk about, tweak, but I don't have nothing written down. I have nothing, no notes. I just set the camera up, record, and go. And that's kind of why I like. It's just free thoughts. It's me pretty much driving and just talking at this point. We all know why you started More Than the Masses, but for those who don't know, what was the inspiration behind it? So, it's really just about painting a picture of Augusta through the lens of somebody who's not from Augusta but live here and love the city. So that's why you get a lot of up north, da da da. I might throw some my stories of living up north, or I might give you an example of the southern hospitality versus your northern rudeness, and vice versa. So you get a lot of that, and also just wanting to paint a picture of the city for the city, because I think a lot of times people call it disgusta and they have these negative things to say about the city. But where I'm from, we never talk bad about where we're from. We love it. I don't care if it's crime. I don't care if it's poverty. I don't care what it is. Like, we love it to death. And it's nothing you can say to somebody from where I'm from that say that that's not the best city. It's not the best block. It's not the best part. It's not the best part of the area. And I wanted to bring that same kind of dignity and that same pride to Augusta. No pun intended. I know I just had a pride episode, but I'm talking about the act. Well, it's all the same. But yeah, Since then, have there been more opportunities and more positive eyes on Augusta besides the Masters? I think so. I think since it's not just me starting a podcast, but since media and since people start to say, Augusta is a great place, and people want to invest in Augusta as far as the political change, the political climate, and just young kids, older kids, people coming back home, people wanting to do stuff for the city. There's been a shift in Augusta. It's more to it than just the Masters, but for the outside world looking in, they know this as the Masters, as James Brown, and I want to get more art people out, more historic people name out there. And I think even in Augusta, you got streets named after very, very important people, and people don't know that they don't know what Carrie J. Mays is. They think it's just a wreck. It's not just a record. This is a person. This is somebody who made history in Augusta. So it's more so about that than anything. Not just the positive, but just knowing the history. Because Augusta is a very, very rich filled history town, in my opinion. I know I asked what was your favorite thing in our episode, but what about More Than the Masses makes you most proud? I think knowing that I've always stayed true to my original goal, and it's not about me. It's not about self. It's just about the awareness of this is the city. This is why it's beautiful. This is what we got here. Like that the fact that I'm able to paint pictures with authors, regular everyday workers, 9-to-5ers, young kids, older people, young people, men, women, straight people, gay people, transgender people, whatever. Like the fact that I can put them in front of a camera, talk to them, and still paint a picture of the city through their story and kind of navigate some extra ideas of Augusta through that person. I think that's what makes me most proud of the fact that I had to learn on my own kind of how to do that. But shout out to people like Kim Macon who I watch and I listen to an interview and I like take my pointers and things of that nature and just learn. And people that matter so much to the city that tell me that, you're doing a good job. The mayor knowing who I am, the DA coming down here by itself, Dolo, to come on a podcast, like not during election time, like months before election time. So it's just stuff like that I think is dope. That makes me most proud because people start to respect. I think that's the most thing, people respecting this media outlet as a reputable form of media. So I think that's it's making me most proud because you got a lot of media outlets out here, but people know about more than masses. So what are the plans for the future of the pod? So honestly, like my plans for the future are just to continue to do better, to continue to get better, interview better, get better equipment, maybe make a studio, something like that. I would love to do this full time and make money doing it. I would love to do that. That's my main goal if I could do that. But the reality of it is podcast is oversaturated right now. So the chance of that happening probably slim to none based off what I know I'm worth per year and what I want to make. So I may be working still, but if I could meet in the middle with a number that I know I can make just doing this for my life, I would do that 100%. How was your Father's Day? It was great, man. Father's Day was dope. I spent the day sleep most of the day because I work overnight now. So I slept all day, and then I actually took my kids to see Inside Out 2. So Father's Day was more of a day for the kids, but I love to spend time with my daughters. Like, I ain't gonna say it's no better feeling because that'd be weird. That'd be crazy. It's some better feelings, but I do love spending time with my kids. I ain't gonna lie. I love spending time with them. Like, it don't feel like something I have to, muster myself up to do. Like, I could work hard at work and getting off and seeing my kids is like the best thing in the world. So being sleepy that day, wanting to sleep in all day, the best thing was waking up and them jumping on me saying, "Hey, open your gift, open your gift, open your gift." I love it. I love it. I love them. Do the kids want to start their own show yet? Man, Brooke had a show. She got one season. And now they don't want to do a show. They don't like come to the studio like that no more. So they used to always come to the studio, but I think now they kind of find their own niche and they like to be around each other a lot. Like Bailey admires her older sister, and Brooke like loves her younger sister. So they like being together more so. And I'll be at the studio too long for them. They think I'm here like all day, and I do be here all day sometimes. So I can't knock them for not wanting to come no more. I probably done studio them out to death. So do you? How has grief surprised you? So Juanito had a very, very strange series of questions. Okay, but how has grief surprised you? Wow. It's one of them things where like you think you prepare for something and you can never really be prepared for that thing you trying to prep yourself to be prepared for. You can talk to yourself over and over again. You can know that this family member is going to pass away in the next 2 years, and you can prep yourself. You can know that it's inevitable for this person to pass away in less than 6 months, and you can tell yourself, when it happens, I'm gonna be good. I'm prepared. I made my peace with it, and grief surprised me because none of that matters. There's no preparation. You're not prepared. The morning it happened, the day it happened, the day you get those calls, the reality setting in that person is no longer here, the question that comes to mind that you never got the chance to ask, the hugs you never got a chance to give, the issues you never got a chance to squash, the times you was upset that you can't get back because it really wasn't that deep. I can go on and on and on. It's like all those thoughts hit you right then and there, and it's like, fuck, it's tough. So it's tough. Grief is super tough. How does it compare to what you expected? It don't. I expected it to be okay. I thought it was like every other thing I can kind of like put behind me and say, okay, cool. My grandma she's gonna pass away, but I love that she lived a good life, cool. And I never forget that morning. Never forget going in her room, seeing her body, feeling her hand, and it's cold, and her not looking like the lady that I knew for 30-something years. Getting a text in the middle of the night about my uncle passing, and just not being able to go to sleep, but laying there and just tears coming down my eyes. It's like you don't expect it. You expect the people to pull through. My dad getting a call at what is right now the worst time of my life ever, which is December 2023. December 6th, my daughter's birthday, celebrating, at the bowling alley that I ain't been back to since. Getting that call and hearing the tone of my mother's voice, trembling, and she don't cry, and just knowing what that call meant, but not knowing, because I didn't get told what was going on. Just knowing, like, hey, come home. You gotta come home. Those words, like it's nothing compared to what I would have thought grief was. And then also um, how sneaky it is. Like, you'll have good days. I have days where I'm like, okay, things is going up. I got paid. I got a little bonus money here. I'm doing this, and the song come on. I'm like, man, damn, my pops, like that song, or you know, being in the house and seeing a picture, or going through pictures and seeing pictures of my grandmother, or going through my phone and seeing videos of my grandmother, my Facebook memories, and I post stuff of my grandmother. I'm live with her, and we going live talking, and she's saying the wrong thing because family watching. I'm like, hey, such and such on live, say hi. And my grandma like, shut up. Like, whoa, grandma, chill. You gotta chill. You got to chill, grandma. You gotta chill. So it's nothing compared to what I expected. Long story short, I try to throw a joke in there because your eyes get watery. It's tough. It's tough, talking about that kind of stuff. What has been harder than you thought? What has been easier? What has been harder than I thought? I'll say my dad probably the most, because I when I was younger, I always thought that I would be okay with him passing because his dad passed before I was born. So I thought he would die before my kids was born. I just felt like he was going through the same thing his dad was going through mentally, and I don't know. I don't know why I thought this, but I thought that. I didn't think he would ever meet any kids that I may or may not have had. I didn't think that, I didn't think I never got mad at my dad when I was younger. I felt like I understood everything. It wasn't until I got older that I started to get upset and feel away, because I felt like he was better and he still wasn't there. But I was grown, and it was just dumb. But that's been the hardest part, is like, not beat myself up for times I was upset and we went a year or two without speaking. That's insane. When his number the same, my number the same. I'm mature enough to say, yo, I love you. You my dad. We twins. Like, I don't care. And him going through what he going through, and me knowing that, like, that's the hardest part. Like, it's the forgiving yourself for times that you missed out on. It's a question I got now. I can't never ask. Like, I won't never know the answer. So I kind of got to go through life, like, either finding it myself or hoping that maybe he come through in my dreams. I don't know. Like, and I never experienced that with nobody that has passed. So, like, once they pass, that's it. I haven't seen them since. What has been easier? What has been easier? Nothing really been easy, bro. Like, I don't know. Nothing's been easy. Nothing's really been easier. I can't think of an easier time or moment now. It's all hard. Everything is tough. Everything is a battle. Everything is a constant mental breakdown. It's all hard. It's nothing I can say is like easy about this, other than the fact that if I think of it in a positive sense, I got 3 angels watching me now that was near and dear to me. My uncle, my favorite uncle, my grandma, like my be like this, and my dad, and we grew to be very, very close during the last year of his life, which probably why it hit harder. I think it hit harder because of how close we were at that time of his death. So, what resources have been helpful? Just people hit me up, telling me it's okay, or when I do my thinking out loud, like I'm doing, or when I do episodes and I talk about grief and I talk about things that I normally didn't talk about, because for so long I didn't experience none of this stuff. It all happened like back to back to back. I went all them years without experiencing close deaths of family members. Went all those years without having crazy trauma that I felt like was just like life damaging, other than the younger stuff you go through. So people, people calling me, telling me, hey, just slow down. People calling me, telling me like, hey, your family should get this kind of help. People call me asking about my mom that don't even know my mom. They just calling and asking, messaging me, hey, how's your mom doing? Or which I didn't even talk about that in a minute, but or people calling me and saying like, how's it been going since your dad passed? Like people that I don't know. I don't have a relationship with them. They just hit me up because for whatever reason they care or they just feel like I need it. I don't know. Those been the people have been the best resource to me to answer that question. I'm sorry. Um, what was your loved one like? So, God, Juan is killing me with these questions. What was my loved one like? My dad was funny. I would say him. My dad was funny. He was similar. He was funny. He long-winded when he wanted to be and very short when he wanted to be. So you kind of got, you never know what version of him he was getting. You know if you were getting the short version of we called him Bo, and my nickname is Boo Boo, but nobody better call me that. Don't call me that. But he was funny, man. I don't know. He just was a character. Like he didn't try to be funny. He just was funny. Like the stuff he did. Like I don't care if he yawned. It might have been funny. If he just went to the bathroom and came back, like him asking for some of your noodles and taking like a whole scoop, and it's like, damn, that's half the noodles, bro. Like I get you said you want one scoop, but you got the biggest scoop there is. So he was just funny, man. He fun and knowledgeable, very smart dude, very smart. Read books. Probably the only male in my life, to be honest with you, the only male in my life that really I felt like had the best of both worlds. Like a very, very street person, very street smart. He dibbled and dabbled in the streets a lot. I'm not gonna lie about that. But always kept a job as a trucker, worked for Teamsters, had a pension, but also would sell a lot of stuff. Okay. But then also would read books. But then also would carry a gun. And it was locked and loaded every time. But then also would read the newspaper on the steps. Like he was 50 years old or something, but he was 25, 26. But then also would go outside and like strangle somebody. It was just very strange. I don't know, he was very complex. He was a complex individual. Yeah, that's the best way. Complex individual. What is your favorite memory with him? Oh, my favorite memory of him was I was younger. Make sure we get on time. I was younger, and I used to love to watch Home Alone. And Home Alone is a part of the movie where the guy brings the pizza to the door and he gives him the tips and says, keep the change. So my dad ordered a pizza one day. He said, yo, man, go get your robe. Well, come on, boo boo. Get your robe. My robe on. And he had like the little tobacco pipes thing you could smoke. It was a toy one. He gave it to me. He said, let me see. I like you smoking it. I was doing it. He was like, make this face. Give me faces to make, right? Tell me to make faces with that. He's like, all right, cool. He said, all right, this is what we're gonna do, man. When the pizza guy come, you're gonna go downstairs. You're gonna take your pipe. You're gonna have your mouth. You're gonna go, how much is it? I mean, tell you, you're gonna put the pipe in your mouth, hold it, give him the money and say, hey, keep the change. And I don't know, like to me, I mean, it's not funny now, I guess. It sounded kind of dry, but in the moment, I all remember that because I heard him up there laughing. Like he just thought that was the funniest thing in the world. And like that was him. Like just out of the moment, spurred moment, funny shit. He would just do like, let's do this. Like that's how he was. Very, very, very shocking. Like you never know what to expect with him. And now that I'm talking about him, it's funny because I just feel like I'm also that way, but unknowingly. I'm not purposely trying to be like him. I think unknowingly I'm just that way because I got his DNA. What makes you feel close? Oh, what do you remember about how you met? I don't remember it. I'm almost sure I came on my vagina and then he probably held me. I don't know. What makes you feel close to them now? Wow. My mom. Oh God. My mom. Sometimes she'll look at me and she'll cry and she'll be like, you look like your dad. She'll call me Bo sometimes. So my mom probably keep me closest to him than anything. His ashes, of course, that's in the house.
I got a broom in my car. I know people probably wonder, why you got that broom in your car? Why you got that broom in the car? His room, when I took him to Charleston, he had a bunch of stuff he wanted me to hold, like always. And the broom was there, and I was like, "Yo, we gonna do the broom." He's like, when I come back, I get it. When I come back, I get it. When I come back, I get it. How has death? Uh, ooh, that was the last time I saw him, so it was like, how has death affected your future plans? I won't say it affected it. It just made me cherish time more. So some things take a back burner because I'm trying to cherish the time that I got with the people that I got. You know, like you don't want to. I don't want to have um no room for I could have did this, I could have did that. I want to enjoy the time. Anybody that know me know I've argued less. I've let stuff go that I probably wouldn't let go just because I feel like if you're around me and I love you and we cool and you mean something to me, I don't care about the other stuff, bro. I just want it to be good. I don't want to waste no time at all. I want to be good 100%. And so it hasn't affected future plans. It just made the current more important. Ooh, how has it shaped your values? Time is everything. That's it. Time is everything. Time is important. Don't underestimate time because we not in control of that. Juan, you fucked me up with this one, bro. Uh, what advice would you give to someone who is grieving? It's okay to cry. You know, this is new to me. I'd never cry my whole life. Like not my whole life. Let me stop. Oh, I gotta relax. That's insane. That was a crazy lie for no reason. But up until I was 13, I don't think I cried since I was 13 until my uncle died in 2021. So that's what I mean when I say that. Like I didn't cry at all, not one time, no tears, nothing. So I would say cry. It's okay. Uh, Talk to people. Understand that if you're grieving, you might not be the only one grieving as well. So as much as you want to be, feel safe and take care of self, sometimes taking care of others will take care of you as well. So what's up with the Pepsi? Good question. Let me drink some now because these crazy ass questions you got fuck me up. Got me all teary eyed. This motherfucker. This is crazy, one. I thought you was my friend. What's up with the Pepsi? I love Pepsi. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was younger. I was able to drink soda as a kid. My dad used to drink soda. My mom drank soda. My grandma drank soda. My aunt drank soda. So I was a kid that didn't want to drink Hawaiian Punch. I didn't want to drink Minute Maid. I didn't want to drink none of the juices that they would drink. Besides like Bright and Early. I did like Bright and Early. I like orange juice a little bit. Bright and Early was really good. Berry Punch, Minute Maid's only kind of like besides pink lemonade. Um, but yeah, I used to drink soda all the time, and I kept doing it my own. My cousins and friends would always say, when you go through puberty, you're gonna have a bunch of pimples. Da, da, da. Man, never. Didn't have. I mean, I had a few here and there. Don't get me wrong, through puberty, but I didn't have like the crunch bar forehead, nothing like that. I ain't have none of that. No disrespect to nobody else. I'm not trying to be funny. Um, have you ever considered being vegan? Only a vegan asks this question. Hell no. I never want to eat cardboard boxes. Being a vegan is this right here, and that shit, that shit disgusting. That's not shit I eat. I'm good on that. Um, where did the term head ass come from? That's a Slim term, not gonna lie. Slim and his homeboys use that word. I've heard things like such and such, blah, 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 head ass. You, Larry King, being eating something head ass motherfucker. I heard those things, but just to say head ass was something they made up, and it just was a good term. It got catchy, so I would say it because I was around them, and then it spread from there. So that came from Slim. So now I'm gonna start from the beginning with the other episodes. Shout out to Juanito for the question, man. So far, this was dope. My guy, man. I want to give a shout out to him real quick, man. I probably was hard on him yesterday. I didn't mean to be so hard, but you my man. You know that. You my friend. You know that. Got major love for you. You've always supported me. I always supported you, and it's no love lost, bro. It's just how I am when it comes to my stuff, bro. I need this stuff to be right. You know how I feel. What has been your favorite Thinking Out Loud episode topic? So I know earlier I was saying that one was One of them was Augustus Sports popularity, but one of my favorite ones I like to pass out too is um, 8. It's thinking about number 8. I think I called it 10 reasons, and I listed 10 reasons. I believe it was 10 reasons. I listed 10 reasons why or how my daughter helped me grow with her existence and birth and just being born and being who she is. And I think that, of course, younger version of her, it probably don't make sense or probably didn't resonate with her now. But I feel like when she get older, that's gonna be something she really gonna love, especially if she gets older and I'm not around. Like that's gonna be something she able to cherish. So I like that episode. Which Thinking Aloud do you think got the most attention and responses from viewers and why? Most attention. Thinking Aloud there. I would say my episode stirring the pot. So on Facebook I go by Bobby Boucher, and with that I do a lot of trolling, playing, joking on there. One would some would say I stirred a pot. I don't know. So I did an episode called Stir the Pot, and I talked about some things, and then I called some people and let them kind of give their input of whether I do stir the pot or not, what it mean, and things of that nature. Some said yes, some said no, and I thought it was dope because I was able to call people who always hit me up with this text, Facebook, messenger, call, whatever, about this was a dope episode. This was a dope episode. So now to get them on the podcast and feel like they a part of it was dope. But also a lot of those reels got shared a lot, got a lot of views. So I would say that one it probably garnered the most attention to me. I don't look at numbers. I'm just talking about off organic feel, like how I feel about it when I posted it. Like sometimes I'll get so much attention on an episode that I will continue to clip that episode until it drive clips. So yeah, I would say that episode. How did the first Thinking Out Loud come about? I know, but tell us again. Yes, ma'am. How did the first one come about? Oh, so I said something about people, creators, and something like that, and I think people commented. And Dorian Harris, he was like, you should just give game. You know what I'm saying? You should use your platform to kind of tell them what they doing wrong and what they not doing right. And the first episode was kind of just that, and then I liked it. And then mind you, at first I couldn't even. Well, I ain't gonna ask the question. So that's how it happened. I don't want to get too far because it might be another question. Then, how has Thinking Out Loud evolved over the past 100 episodes? So I'm glad I didn't say what I want to say. It evolved like this. When I first started, I would do like 15, 20 minutes, sometimes 13 minutes. It was hard, not hard, but when you're just doing topics, it can be a little hard to paint a picture when it's just you and yourself in the room with the cameras. Because it sounds good to say things. You got thoughts in your mind, and you sit in front of the camera, you're like, hey guys. So you kind of got to be ready and be alert. And I think going to 15 minutes, and I started doing 15 minutes like that. And next thing I know it was 20 minutes, and next thing I know it was 30, next thing I know it was 50. I'm doing 100 now. I'm trying to do 100 a day. So when you think about it from that perspective, it's like, you have to grow. So I've grown with my ability to talk about things for a certain amount of time. So whereas I was doing 10 to 15 minutes at first with my Thinking Aloud, now on average, they 30 to 50 minutes on average. I'm adding music. I incorporated intros to it. I'm doing funny stuff. I'm calling people. I'm doing little episodes. I'm joking. I'm being serious. I'm clipping it up, making reels from it. So that's how it's grown. It's grown just because it's become really a part of the program. Like it's a heavy part of the program now. People love Thinking Out Loud. I hope. When you did your first few Thinking Out Loud, did you ever think that you would eventually do 100+ episodes? No, I didn't. Never was a thought in my mind. How did Thinking Out Loud impact more than masses as a whole? Man, it's synonymous to more than masses now. Like, and it impacted more than masses as far as like me because I'm always behind the camera. Even before I wasn't no camera at all, right? And then you start to do camera work. Well, I wasn't on camera with these guests. I'm behind the camera, so now I'm still like, kind of like not a myth, but a mystique. It's a mystique there. Like, who's that behind the camera? Unless you know me, who's that behind the camera? Who's the guy asking the questions? How does he look asking questions? Is he smiling? Like, how's his smile? He made this joke. What face did he make when that person said that? So like now you kind of could put a idea to the creation and the creator. So I think it helped put me on camera has helped more than massive, because now you can watch those episodes of me not being on camera, but feel like you could imagine the face I'm making. You can imagine how I'm looking. You can imagine if you know me, you already do that. So imagine not knowing me and then like not knowing, the faces I make faces. I'm a face person. Like I'm the type of person, it's going to show on my face every time. Whether I'm pissed, whether I'm taking something for a joke, whether I want to be somewhere or not. I'm a face person. Like my face going to tell it all every time, and I can't do anything about it. How did thinking aloud impact you personally? So the same way. And then just being out. Like when I'm out now, people see me. I know you. I'm at work somewhere new now. I'm at work, and somebody say, "Hey, you be on the news?" You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Nah, I don't be on the news." I had to pull them to the side, like, "Yeah, that's me, but just kind of keep down the low, bro. Like I don't want low profile type shit, I want to say type shit. I always want to use that word, like using young slang, type shit. Did your success with thinking aloud contribute to creating other More Than a Master series such as Mental Health Talk? Yes, actually. When you branch off and do one thing that's successful, you try to branch off and do other things. So I'm always trying to pull people in. So the fact that when I do my guy, he's a creator, and he sometimes, like we all do, struggle with being creative. I'm like, well, okay, well, cool. Let's just come and you can find a feed of my energy. I want to feed of your energy, and let's kind of go from there. So I wanted to kind of do that, and that actually, Mental Health Talk has actually been doing well. We tried something in the past. We did something called the Timeline, where we were just doing stuff about current news, and that kind of worked out, but it didn't at the same time. And then I started working and doing other things, and he started working doing other things. So it was one of them things where we couldn't really fully create, but we've set time aside to kind of do the Mental Health Talk, and we kind of dog walk it. We text. We have a thread where we texting and saying, I want to tackle it this way, and his input is just as important as my input. It's not a my thing. It's not a him thing. It's a we thing. So definitely thinking aloud definitely impacted that. How have you managed consistency and remaining organic with thinking out loud? Good question. How have you managed consistency and remaining organic? Really, it's the people. When I start these thinking out loud, and I'm saying shout out to the listeners, the audience, and I'm thanking people, and I'm thanking you guys, week in and week out. I'm not doing it to be funny. I truly mean it. Like I really don't like starting off without saying thank you first, because if it wasn't for the feedback I got from you guys, it wasn't for you guys caring about the stuff I talk about, it wasn't for you resonating with the things I speak about, I wouldn't be doing it. I would have been stopped doing this. So the organicness is coming from me speaking from an organic place, speaking from a place of authenticity, each and every time, to the best of my ability. I'm not gonna get up here and say, "Oh, well, I did X, Y, Z," and incriminate myself. No, I'm not gonna do that. But I'm also gonna speak from my experiences. And if I speak for someone else's, I would say it's from someone else's, but I was there, or but I remember talking to my friend and they said this, and now I would say it's in third person, but it's organic because I'm not pushing any agenda here. It's truly just thinking out loud. It's times where I'm pretty sure people agree with me, and it's times where people don't. And I'm perfectly fine with both. I don't take it no kind of way. And I'm cool with all kind of feedback I get. And I think that's why everything's been organic. And I'll be consistent just because I talk it. So you gotta walk like you talk it. I can't walk and talk consistency and I'm putting out an episode every other month, or not at all, and saying I got a podcast, but then stopping every 3 episodes because life happened. Nah, I gotta keep pushing, gotta keep going. And life definitely did happen. All right, and I kept pushing. How do you see thinking out loud changing or growing over the next 100 episodes? Well, for me, I see it changing and growing because I feel like I'm a person that I want to do bigger and better things. I want to continue to get better at things. So if it's gonna grow, let me put my shoe up here. If it's gonna my foot up here, if it's gonna grow, I feel like I want to have 2 camera angles. Maybe I start doing 2 camera angles. Maybe the cinema is a little different. Maybe I start calling people every episode. Start giving out awards every episode. Maybe I have segments every thinking out loud to where it's like I don't have to freestyle as much. I come in the first 5 minutes. I know I'm gonna thank the audience. I'm gonna play a song. I'm gonna give an award and give a shout out, and go from there. Like it's stuff like that I think about all the time in my mind. So when I'm able to bring it to fruition, I will. What inspired? Okay, what made you? Nope, I'm lost. Excuse me, guys. Um, what inspired you to start the Thinking Out Loud podcast? So I already answered that, so I'm gonna skip on that one. What made you choose the name Thinking Out Loud for your series? Good question. Thinking Out Loud was something that I used to just say. I'm just thinking out loud. Like when I'm talking, like anybody that, if you ever been on the phone with me, well, not anybody, because I don't do anybody, but if you close to me and you've been on the phone with me, I probably done said something, you're like, huh? I'm like, I'm just thinking out loud. Like I've always said that because I'm always talking. Maybe not to people, but I always talk to myself. It's like, I am not crazy. I promise you. Well, I don't know. I'm not clinically crazy, but I do speak to myself a lot. I speak to myself when I'm driving the car, but I've always been a thinker out loud. I've always wanted to, because I don't necessarily write stuff down all the time, but I might say it. I might speak. I have conversations sometimes where like I might be premeditating another convo that might happen later on that day. So if I know I'm gonna talk with, let's say I know I'm gonna talk with my mom later on, I'm gonna talk as if I'm having that conversation, if that makes sense. So when I have it, I'm not going and fumbling things, you know. So that's always how I've been. I don't know why I'm like that. I just am. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna help y'all a little bit. I'm gonna bring y'all in. Come here. Sometimes I talk about things as if like I'm in the office. Like I'm on a show, The Office. I talk like that. So I might be at work and I might be talking like I'm in the office. I don't know why I do that, but I do that sometimes too. But you didn't hear that from me. How did you choose the topics in each episode? Life bring me the topics every time. I promise you, it's always life. Life bring me these topics. Like it's social media and life. So I might see something on social media. Somebody said something. I might see a little argument. I'm a pot stirrer. Yes, I am. I said I'm not early. I am now. I don't care. And so I might see something like, that's a good conversation to have. I want to talk about that. So I'm talking about it. Might be something happening at work. It's a good conversation to have. I want to talk about that. So, and I feel like the things that I see and go through in life, other people also see and go through. They may not spend as much time pondering on it. They may not spend as much time brainstorming about it or trying to dissect it or break it down like I may do during the day, but I do that. I might see a conversation from a distance and I might know one of an idiot. Okay, cool. I want to talk from the perspective of the idiot being right. How can I make this idiot right? And I will try to break it down all day until I can make the idiot right, and then I'll talk from the standpoint of the idiot. Just as a way to test my brain, and it's a way to test like me talking, and because words matter. Like you got to know how to say words, and that's why I'm able to like even in real life not say things that's super hurtful sometimes. Like just outright, I don't be calling women bitches. I don't say none of that. I'll say the B word. Don't get me wrong, but I won't say it. I don't care how mad I get at you. I'm not gonna do it because of things like that. Me talking and me knowing how to control my energy, my inner energy. You know what I'm saying? So I think that helps a lot too. But that's definitely where I get it from. Just life and social media. What what is your process for preparing content for each episode? My process is I come in, I set the light up, the camera up, the mixer up. I get me one of these bad boys right here. I take approximately 3 squigs. I put my phone face down, so anybody call me, I can't understand it or I can't see it. Sorry. I come sit down. I prop my feet up like this, and I just start talking. But before I do that, I hit record on the camera, and that's the process. I'm joking. I think about it during the day though. I do think about it all day. I brainstorm in my mind, so I have ideas in mind of what I want to hit on. Every now and then I might write some words down, like some keywords, and then I just go. If I forget something, it's fine, cause I'll get it the next time. So there's no real rhyme or reason to what I'm doing, but I do know when I do speak, I like to pull everything together. I like to paint a picture. So if I start painting a picture, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna bring it back full circle at the end of what I'm saying. I have to. It's a part of me now. It's embedded in me to paint a picture and bring it full circle. Are there any recurring themes or topics that you find yourself returning to? Probably just a support thing. People always complaining and bitching about support. being consistent, because there's so much inconsistency in this world that I have to continue to push that envelope with why it's important to be consistent and why consistency is rewarding. And I try to use myself as a way to be a poster child for consistency and the awards that it brings. I've won awards. I don't set out to do those, but from being consistent, um, I've become somewhat known in the city that I'm not from, and that I didn't try to be known in, for being consistent. I get recognized out in public for being consistent. So it's rewarding. And I try to push that narrative. So the support and consistency is probably two recurrent themes that's going to always pop up, because those are two things that people aren't. One, people aren't supportive sometimes. Yes, that's true. And people aren't consistent a lot of times. And then also people don't get support a lot of times because they aren't consistent a lot of times. So how do you balance the serious topics with keeping the content engaging? I think that I like to consider myself to be entertaining for the most part, thought provoking for the most part, a deep thinker sometimes when I want to be, funny. I got my days. I'm probably funny Sunday through Sunday. So just trying to figure out when to add the jokes, the timing of when to add a joke in there. So I might have serious topics and then like just using things. So even this like right here, it's funny. Like I've made that a funny drop. I don't know how everybody else might use that drop or that turn that tone or that we gonna call it a drop, that sound bite. But I know I made it funny. Usually when I post it, it's because I'm like, whoa, stop, let's relax, chill. And it's little things like that. It's small. It's a very minuscule thing to do, but it lightens up some serious conversations, because I'm like, whoa, let's bring it back. What do you mean you didn't cry all your life? What do you mean by that? You know? So just stuff like that, and then the audience start to grasp and understand it. So little things like that. It's little nuances, joking sometimes, and then the audience, the person that's talking, can't hear the drop a lot of times. So that makes it even better because they don't know. So when you watch, you're like, oh, that's funny, and you laughing and stuff. So I try to do, I try here and there. I do my thing, man. How do your personal experience shape the content of your podcast? Because I talk about what I go through sometimes. Not everything, but a lot of things I go through that I can't talk about, that I will talk about. Some things are near and dear to me. I don't care. I'm that person. People, social media, how you think that people not talking about certain things in their life, or not, broadcasting certain things in life, not showcasing certain things in life. Social media will make you think that it means this. It has to mean this. Well, maybe I'm old school. Some things that I feel like are easily contaminated, I'm gonna hold near and dear to me. Our relationship is to me is super contaminated. It'll be contaminated. You start posting this, posting that person, da da da. Now, people trying to add that person, watch that person, and people don't always want the best for you. It can get contaminated very quickly. Social media, how you believe that, if you don't do that, if you don't post this person, if you don't do that, do certain things that you're hiding, you're doing, and that's not always the case. And I said to say, for me, everything I can't post all my personal experiences, but I can speak around things. I've learned to speak around things a lot, and I know how to do that because I talk to and through people. So sometimes I'll speak around something. I might say, I know a guy, da da da. Boy, that I might be the guy. I do know him. I know the guy. I might be the person. So it just depends. So I do that, but it's ways to do it without always saying, this is my story, Because sometimes taking the personal out of certain stories help people have a better judgment on what they want to say about the story. Sometimes somebody knowing that story is about you is going to make them think less of the story and more about you. And that's never what I want. I wrote that. That was a good question. That was a good answer. Give me, clap it up. That was a good answer. Y'all stop it. Stop it. Come on. All right. Damn. These folks crazy, man. Come on. All right, y'all dragging it now. What's the next question, man? These people crazy in here. Y'all better stop that. Um, the next question is, can you share a moment from your podcast that was particularly meaningful to you? Wow, I got a lot of moments that was meaningful to me. Damn. Can I share a particular moment that was meaningful to me? Since it's thinking out loud, I'm gonna kind of stick with thinking out. No, I'm not gonna stick with thinking out loud. When I had a man, a comedian. Shout out to the comedian Black. He came on the pod. He was sitting right here in this very spot, something like this. I was sitting right there. It's funny. It's full circle. The last day I saw my dad. Damn. Yo, life is crazy. Damn. Life is crazy, bro. The last day I saw my dad, I drove my dad to Charleston. I tried to rush back because I had somebody hit me up. Shout out to Sal Juice, hit me up, say I got a guest, I got an artist that I'm pushing. He's a comedian. I want you to interview him. Da da da. I'm like, you know what, cool. I get here, she tell me he got one arm. I don't know why I said that, but it's just part of the story. So I'm like, cool, all right, he got one on. Let's rock out. You know what I'm saying? Um, and we did the interview. About 5 minutes in, I was questioning him. He was talking about his grandma and stuff, and I asked him more questions, and I could see his eyes getting watery, and he just started crying, like tears came down his eyes. And it was meaningful to me because as someone who lost their grandma, I know how teary-eyed I get when I talk about my grandma. So to see me bring that out of somebody else, it meant a lot. It meant a lot just as far as conviction, far as conveying things, like setting the room up, This is somebody that, he's a comedian. He thought he would come here by a joke and just say a few jokes, ha 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 ha, and go about his business. We did a whole hour interview. I got to know his story, his upbringing. He probably talked about things that people didn't know about him at all. And that was dope to me because that's why I do this. I do this so when people watch it, they can say, oh, this kind of person lived down here. These are the kind of citizens Augusta has, that South Carolina has. And it meant a lot to me, just seeing that. And then he's a man. Us men, we are very strong. We would hold back. I even earlier on the pod, I fought back tears trying to make sure nothing dropped, and to have a strong Black man drop something, it was like, that meant a lot. Because not that I'm aiming to do that, but to be able to do that speaks volumes, I think, Y'all might think I'm tripping, but that speaks volumes to me. How do you manage your time between being a podcaster, a manager at a retail store, and a father? Wow. These days, last year you asked me this question, I just said, you just got to do it. That's my answer. You just got to do it. I work my ass off. I wake up every day at 6 in the morning, take my kid to school, go to work 7 to probably 6, 7 sometimes, get off, pick my kids up, play with them for a little bit, make sure we eat, make sure we play, have some good time, come to the studio, might record some stuff, boom, 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 go back home, play with them, go to sleep, do it over again every day. That was my day-to-day. Editing stuff, that was my day-to-day. Now I'm more concerned with my kids and then podcasting. Like, I want to do more of that now because, like I said, time. I love working. I love what working does for you. Rather, I don't love working, but I love working provides for you as far as a nice income, being able to do things for my kids, my mom, my family. So I never take it for granted. I love to do it, but because of some things that I went through in the past year, or the past 6 months, 8 months now, 7 months now, 8, 7 months, something like that. Some of my views have changed on things, as far as like what I'm willing to give 110% to. But most things I will give 100% to, 110% to most things, but some things have changed. How have your daughters influenced your perspective on topics you discuss? It gives me a chance and a reason to be sensitive to certain topics. Because you can think, okay, what if that was my daughter? Or you can think, how my daughters feel about me saying this. So I'm very cautious of my words because my daughters will be able to see this. This is YouTube, is out in the public. Whether I'm alive, not alive, they're going to be able to go back and watch these things to see how their dad thought when he was 29, 26, 30, 32, 33, whatever. So I'm always cognizant of that, of the things I say, and would I be okay with them hearing them? So, who is your target audience, and how do you connect with them? My target audience it's men and women. I mean, it's a lot of women do listen to the podcast. I don't know if it's the face, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm handsome. I'm not gonna say that. Come on, I didn't say it. You said it, not me. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's the persona. I don't know if it's the mystique about me. I don't know if it's really just the content. I don't know. But I have men and women supporters and listeners, and I would say the target audience is definitely black. Definitely black. That's the target. The target audience is black. But I would say maybe 25 to 60 years old. Because even older people listen to my podcast and tell me they love it. So 25 to 60 years old. How do I connect with them? Just having thought-provoking topics, speaking about things that matter. That's probably it. Just having thought-provoking topics like and things that make you think in life situations, real life situations, and being organic and being authentic to what I'm talking about. I think the authenticity it helps me able to connect with the audience because they feel that. They're like, oh wow, he said that. Man, that's not even a good look, but he spoke about it. And I think that's dope. I think that people really cherish that and like that you can convey yourself to be human, if that makes sense. What has been the most surprising feedback you've received from your listeners? The most surprising feedback. Ooh. I don't know if I'm ever really surprised. I think years ago, when I talked about Bailey and me finding out that she was coming to this world and my thoughts that I had during that time and the things that I was going through and doing during those times and how my life was during that time, I think that might have been the most surprising feedback I got from people because it was a surprising story. Because just like the last question, it was authentic, it was true, it was real. Everything I said really happened. I really had those thoughts. I really didn't want, I didn't want to have a kid at that time in my life. I wasn't in the right space. I didn't treat people like I would be known to treat people. I shied away from a lot of things. So I got a lot of feedback that was kind of uplifting and just saying like, well, I'm happy that, you were able to self-evaluate yourself, and be a better person now. So I think it was just surprising because like I said, people didn't expect that. When you see the relationship me and Bailey have, you would never know that I had those kind of thoughts. So how do you handle criticism or negative feedback on your podcast? Be better. Be better, do better. Like if somebody tell me something, I have to take all comments as if they were great or whatever, because it's all constructive and it's all meant to make me do better. So, but most times I think I'm my toughest critic. So most times I'm giving myself like the hardest critique. But then also people that like people that really love me would tell me like, oh, this wasn't really it, but da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Or I think one time I did the truth one. I think I sent it to somebody. I was telling them about the issue we was having and what he said, and I sent to mine. And they like, send it to me. Let me see if I can understand what he's saying. They never said they understood what he was saying, but they was like, oh yeah, we need to talk about that. And I took that as he might be right in what he's saying. So I'm okay with the negative feedback or criticism. I'm fine with it because that's how you fine-tune things. That's how you get better at stuff. Because one person seeing it this way, it means that it could be multiple people seeing it that way because that one person might represent a dozen. So I got to take all comments as if 100 people are saying the same thing. Can you share a story about a listener who was deeply impacted by your podcast? I told you, man, my man Antonio, like I said, he said that my podcast got him through. Well, and then also one day I was at alumni game years back, and somebody was like, they had came off a tour, like they was in the military, came off tour, and was like, yo, you Maine, right? I'm like, yeah. I was like, I don't know this person, I don't know him. I was at the concession stand. He's like, you Maine, right? He gave me a five. He's like, yo, man, you got the podcast, man. Yo, I love it, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. When I was away and I was on tour, I was on leave on whatever they do in the military. I don't know what it's called, man. When they gotta go leave the country, I don't know what that shit is called. Anyway, I'm saying tour, like probably the 90s word, I don't know. What they call it? Damn, it's on the tip of my tongue now. What do they call it when you go? I don't know. Fuck. It's like, I can't think of it now. Deployed or whatever. Yeah. I might be saying it wrong still. Anyway, that was what he was going through. He was like, yo, I listen to all your podcasts all the time, make me feel at home. And like you talking about more than that, that's dope. That's dope. Somebody saying, yo, here I am. I don't know if he was at war or not, but hell, when the army at war, right? Here I am in Germany or Afghanistan or Kuwait or whatever. I don't know where he was at. But here I am out the country. And when I want to feel at home, or in order to feel at home, or this particular entity is making me feel at home, and it's More Than Masters podcast, and then be able to come back and tell me that at some outing, that's dope. That's dope. And that was dope to me. That when it happened, and it's dope. Every time I hear it, nobody ever gonna come up to me. I'm gonna be like, oh, word, that's what's up. Nobody gonna tell me, oh, good podcast. I ain't never gonna be like, oh, well, tell me when I have a bad one. That's not my demeanor. My demeanor is always gonna be like, that's dope. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to be better. Because sometimes the stuff they think is fire, I don't think it's fire. But if they think it's fire, it's a win. I'm gonna take it. But I'm always trying to get better. What does reaching your 100th episode mean to you? Consistency. It means consistency. It means that I took something, did right by it, watered it, got better at it, and was able to make people like it. And that's important, because a lot of people do a lot of things, and to have people genuinely like Thinking Out Loud is amazing. Because some people, when I don't drop Thinking Out Loud, I'll get texts like, yo, what's up with Thinking Out Loud at? Why I ain't drop Thinking Out Loud? They love them. That's a good thing, because it's some people that will stop doing something they love, or stop doing something they, as far as in a creative sense, and nobody won't bat an eye. Nobody won't say, yo, why you put a project out? Why? Because they're not checking for them. So to have you even check for me is amazing. Like, I'm always love that. What have been some of the biggest challenges you face in getting to 100 episodes? Trying to do too much sometimes. Like, I've messed up episodes, not want to go to the studio because the studio was renovating, and I might have did some episodes in the living room, but then, my kids were screaming, or the dog was barking, or, this happened, so I stopped the episode 16 minutes in. I couldn't get it done. That's why you see some episodes not there. Like, you'll see, like, it's 84, then 85 missing, but it's 86. Well, 85 was up. I did 85. I probably took it down because I didn't like it, but I recorded 85. So I'm not, in my mind, it's done. But to the public, like, yo, I don't see this number. It's no 57 episode. Well, it is a 57 episode, but it's probably private. I probably took it down, probably said something I want to say, or I probably went too hard on something. It just depends. Like I said, it's all freestyle stuff. So every now and then I might get out of pocket. I might say something I don't like. Or the audio ain't messed up. It's just that, but I know I did it. What episodes are you most proud of, and why? So I do like the motion episode, I think, because I was able to shout out to Karma Casanova, dope car salesman, dope artist, dope individual. I was able to tag him in some stuff I said, because I was talking on a whim, but I remember he came home from jail from doing 10 years. I remember talking about motion, and people have motion. I feel like he had more motion than people that was free for 10 years. Like, bro, this man been down for 10 years in jail, and you've been free doing nothing for 10 years, and you have no motion, and this guy came home and got to it. And I remember him coming to the interview one time when I interviewed him about the IHA Awards. And he was like, yo, man, I show all my ladies, all my peoples that clip of you talking about me. And I'm like, who the fuck am I? Like, who am you know what I'm saying? Like, who am I? Who am I? Who am I that he thinks showing this is a big deal? But he thought it was a big deal. And I thought that was dope. Like, that he thought it was a big deal that I mentioned him in talking about motion. I think motion was a good episode to me, because at the time people was talking about that wasn't really moving. But I don't want to talk about that. How do you plan to celebrate this milestone episode? Well, I had some ideas, trials and tribulations, and ain't no better way to celebrate than trials and tribulations, though. Honestly, like failing and trying something and not coming out right is probably the best way to celebrate something, because doing this now, it feels more organic. It feels better. And so I probably should have just kept it simple from the beginning. So, but as far as celebrating, I don't know if y'all want to if anybody want to cash at me $100, that'd be dope for one episode. If you got this far into the episode, I'm definitely making this a clip. What's this, 109? If you got this far into the episode, the question was, how do you plan to celebrate this milestone episode? Thinking Out Loud 100. Yo, everybody just send me $100 on Cash App. That's it. It's not hard. Send me $100. I'll celebrate. I promise you I will. Me and my daughters. What are your goals for the future of Thinking Out Loud? So I answered that earlier too. Some of my goals is really just like creating segments inside the show. So it's not always all freestyle, but maybe nothing written down to where it's like it's super structured. If that makes sense. I wanted to feel structured but not be structured. So I want to be able to shout out people, give out an award, play some music, have a joke of the day, maybe have a post that I talk about and I dissect. You know, stuff like that, something that's going on in media. Just have a set thing, set time stamps for certain episodes so they all can flow smoothly. And then they're easy to do that way. How do you see, are there any new topics or formats you are considering for future episodes? I just answered that question. How do you see the podcast evolving in the next few years? I answered that earlier too. What advice would you give to an aspiring podcaster who look up to you? Be consistent or get out the way. Like as a podcaster, in all honesty right now, like one thing that bothers me a lot about people that's podcasting that say they starting or maybe they just starting or I don't know, they hit me up for advice is not being consistent, not putting out the content. That's what anything in creativity, but especially in podcasting. I can't stand somebody that want to just keep talking about it. Fuck that. Fuck that. Put something out. It's hell, just send it to me. Ask me what I think about it. I'll tell you if you need to work on this or what. And I ain't the end all be all, but I'm gonna give you feedback if you want it, and we'll go from there. But like the whole just talking about it for 6 months, 12, I ain't into all that. Like you gotta go out there and do it. So if you're a young person wanting to start a podcast, old person wanting to start a podcast, a person that just got a heartbeat wants to start a podcast, it's fine. The game is very oversaturated. I ain't gonna tell anybody not to do it. It's fine. Do what you do, because I'm gonna always get me. I'm gonna do what I do. Find your niche and be consistent and put out content. That's it. Just put some stuff out. Take it serious. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. If you could revisit any episode, which one would it be and why? Ooh, if I could revisit any episode of my Thinking Out Loud, if I could revisit any episode, I don't have one. I think I've always felt good about the stuff I said. I don't think it's ever been a time where I'm like, and if I didn't, the next Thinking Out Loud, I cleared it up. So these are meant to not be perfect, if that makes sense. It's meant to not be perfect. I think about some of the things I say once I'm leaving the studio. I'm like, damn, well, you know what's cool? Next time I'll address that in my next one. So nah, none of them at all. What has been the most challenging topic you've covered, and how did you approach it? What has been the most challenging topic you've covered, and how did you approach it? Wow. What has been the most challenging topic you covered, and how did you approach it? I won't say it's challenging, but the whole, the Augusta supports popularity. It's not that it's challenging, it's just that it's so lopsided because the people who are doing things and is not getting the reception that they want all feel that way. All of them. And then there's people who get love, get support. We don't feel that way. But people will have you think that we are getting that support because we're popular. Granted, you got to start from somewhere. So I didn't just start podcasting and people say, oh, you mean? Yeah, I like that podcast. No, that's not happening. They start liking it and they say, oh, who the fuck is this talking? Who is this? You build and build and build and build and build, and you build your reputation. You build your persona. I had to build Bob Boucher. I had to build that person into a pastor, into a joker all the time. I had to build that. You build it with consistency. You build it with shaking hands and networking. You build it with collaborating. You build it with trying new things, trial and fail, trial and error, trials and tribulations. You build on that. And then you find a balance. You find a niche. You find something you like. You find simplicity. You know what I'm saying? You find comfortability. Comfortability, and when you find that, you kind of stay in that, and that's kind of it's so hard to talk about that because the people that say that Augusta or whatever support popularity, ain't found those things yet, ain't did those things yet, ain't tried those things yet. And I know because I know a lot of them. I know a lot of them like the back of my hand. I know a lot of them because we close, we cool. I know a lot of them because we're friends. I know a lot of them because I know you. And I know for a fact that you're not putting 110% behind what you're doing. But people like that would have you believe that it's because I'm not getting support. No, you're not getting support because you're not giving 110%. I'm sorry. I be going hard on that topic. I'm sorry. How do you ensure authenticity in your discussions? Oh, easily, man. I just make sure that people know it's me. Like, I don't mind telling you my mistakes that I made. I don't mind talking about stories that made me look like in a bad light. I used to do the thing called One Day Year. If I tell a story, I told a story I got on a bike ride. I told a story when I got in trouble with the gang stuff. I tell a story when I got when I was in a car accident with my man Skinny and I was messed up. I couldn't really get out of the car, but he ran down and got the guy to come from this parking lot, come back to the scene, he tried to run away. But I don't mind telling stories where I'm not always victorious. I'm not looked at as cool. And that's what's authentic, is you get that level of authenticity when you're able to show yourself in different facets, different lenses, different I don't want to say positions because I'm going to say pause. That sounds crazy as hell. But in different lights of life. So I'll try to show myself in different lights. I'll show the intellectual me. I'll show a dumb me. I'll show a smart me. I'll show a funny me. I may have some not so funny jokes sometimes. Very far in between, keep it at a bare minimum. But, sometimes not that funny. I'll have the serious side. I have the joking side. You know what I'm saying? I have the fatherhood side. I might have the everybody side. I might have the sincere side. So all that is human. It's human characteristics that's a makeup of me, and just like it's a makeup of other people. So people relate to that. Can you describe a typical day in your life, balancing all your responsibilities? Jesus. Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, think about having, you know, now, a mom that can't do for herself like she wants to, a younger brother who was trying to figure out life, a sister who was the strongest person in the world but still needs big brother help every now and then. Two daughters, you know what I'm saying, that's daddy's girls. You know what I'm saying? Gotta make sure I take care of them. Have to have a relationship with their mom. You know what I'm saying? You got your own person that's gonna need you and want things from you and love you and you love them, and they're gonna call you 24/7 for every damn thing that happens. You know, you working and all that stuff you trying to do. You got your own mental you trying to take care of, you know what I'm saying? Then you wanna have your peace of mind. So imagine all trying to balance 10 of those. I ain't even talk about the podcast. I ain't even talk about like the other issues of work. I ain't talk about like, you know, struggling with trying to maybe pay that, or struggling with time management for all those things we talk about juggling. I ain't talking about the times where you can't give I can't give all my attention to my person per se, but I might give more to my mom that day. And sometimes my mom might feel neglected because this person might not get a lot of attention, or this person might need you to do this, and then you gotta be here, but you also gotta be there to take care of that. Because tomorrow you gotta take care of that. But by Tuesday you gotta have this done because Friday you got something you gotta take care of. So you're making sure by Wednesday, Thursday you kind of pacing yourself to do certain things. So when you say you're not busy, but you don't want to do nothing, that's probably why. But then you got this person that's like, hey, can you do this for me? You're not doing nothing. Can you please do it for me? But you love them. You want to do stuff for them. It's your sister. It's your brother, whatever. All right, cool. I'll do that for you. Cool. I'm going to need that back. Boom. It don't come back to you, but you got to make stuff happen by Friday. So, yeah, it can be a lot, bro. And I'm just talking about small stuff. I ain't even thinking about nothing big. It can be a lot when you put it in that perspective, like how I just did. 118, that's a good snippet, too. That's a good question. It's hard to balance all responsibilities, but it's just about doing what's important. And my brother might need me every day. My mom she need me right now. My brother might not. My sister might not. Okay, cool. Let's keep them in the talk for a minute. My daughter might need me. My oldest daughter might need me this day, but she need me, but not that day. She might be okay. I gave her allowance. She know what she's doing. Cool. Boom. Youngest, she want me. I need the attention. I gotta set time aside for that. She don't wanna me to leave work. She don't want me to leave home. None of that stuff. Your person, Definitely want you to leave. They always, oh, can you see me? Oh, can what? Can I breathe? You know? So and it's fun. I'm being funny, but it's stuff like that. It's hard to really balance all these things in life. But somehow, some way, you gotta make do. Gotta make do. How has the podcast changed you personally since you started? I mean, I think I have a better perspective of a lot of things. Shout out to Q who owns this establishment. My mindset on like black politics and black things that matter, as far as black business, um, black news. I've opened my eyes to that. A lot of black problems. I'm open to being educated before I speak on things. When you're younger and you're not podcasting and maybe you're not in media, it's easy to post something and think it's just cute and funny. I don't know. I just posted this. Well, podcasting has made me realize that you never know who watching you. You never know who listening to you. So there's power in the tongue. The things you speak, you gotta watch it. It gotta make sense. You gotta really believe in it. It gotta be your authentic thoughts. Because if not, you'll find yourself, in digging yourself a hole. So I think it just changed my outlook on the way the way I speak, the way I think, and the things I say. What roles does your cultural background play in the content you create? Once again, just that authenticity part, being authentic and being true to self. It allows me to be true to self on camera for the most part about things I want to be true about. And the things I don't want to be true about, I won't speak on. So instead of me just lying, I just won't speak on it. So and that's my life. Like a life is like that. Like I don't speak on everything in my life. Like if you know some things, you know some. If you don't, you don't. But as far as me like being an open book, I've never been that person. So if you know it, it's probably because I want you to know it. If you don't, it's because you're not supposed to know it. Did I answer the question? Or did I just say some bullshit? Yeah, no, I answered the question. Okay, I make sure. I be tripping. How do you handle moments when you feel creatively stuck? I typically go back to moments where I felt like I was creatively on a roll, and I'll go back to those episodes and I watch them, and I try to get rejuvenated. I try to build myself up, but I'll also go to episodes. I'll just pick random episodes, make a clip of it, a new clip that I haven't posted before, and then post it. And sometimes that picked me up because I might have posted a clip from let's say for instance, Thinking Out Loud 40. It might have did a little bit of views. I might have put a reel out or something out from it and it didn't get a lot of likes, maybe 1 or 2 likes. Well, I go back to the episode, I put something new together, I'll post it, and it might be 6, 8 months later, and now I got 20 likes, 30, 20 shares, whatever, all these thousands of views on the reel, whatever. And it's like, damn, they didn't mess with it 8 months ago, but they're messing with it now. But also I'm able to build myself up knowing that because I'm being consistent, because day to day I'm continuously learning my audience, learning what people like about what I post, that I was able to make a better clip this time and get their attention. So it didn't work the first time, but it worked the second time, and it had to be 6 months apart. But now I'm rejuvenated now. I'm like, okay, cool. They like this, cool. And now I'm getting out of that rut creatively, So it's like you kind of pick yourself up out of it with your own content. What has been the most rewarding part of creating this podcast? Being able to have a reputable platform, really, because it started in my room, bro. Like I really started podcasting in my room, seriously. In North Augusta, we had an apartment in North Augusta. I started podcasting in my room. I got episodes where you can hear the lawnmower going off because the landlord decided to do lawnmowing on Sunday. I got episodes with my mom. I got episodes with people that aren't here no more. I'm able to hear their voice. If I want to talk to my uncle, I play the podcast when I have my uncle on. I hear his phone ringing when his wife is calling. Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror is playing. Gonna make a change. I shouldn't have did that. I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. It sounded better at the time. Remember Chris Brown song? He was crying. Anyway, so yeah, that's how, And those are things that I think are rewarding. How do you see your role in the community through your podcast? A spokesperson, you know what I'm saying? A spokesperson for positivity. A spokesperson for authenticity and positivity and creativity. So I like to look at myself as those 3 things. I'm very, very positive. I'm very, very creative. I'm very, very authentic. and then I'm very, very consistent. And I think I speak life into a lot of creators a lot of times, especially young ones. What legacy do you hope to leave behind with Thinking Out Loud? All I care about is that people say, you know what, even if I stop at 100 and that was it, he got 100 pieces of thoughts that you can pick apart to see what kind of person he was. He got 100 thoughts so we can see how he thought. We can see if it was fair and consistent. And now I pride myself on being fair and consistent with my thoughts and what my takes are. It's never shock value. It's never to get a certain amount of shares or go viral. It's because it's really how I feel. It's almost like a diary, for instance. Like imagine somebody passing, you just got their diary. It's just, this is what this is to me. It's the diary of just my mindset in certain times and places in my life. How do you stay informed and educated on topics you discuss? You got to read, man. Reading is fundamental, man. You got to read books. You got to read books. You got to read articles. You got to read stuff. You got to watch stuff in its entirety. So I can't talk about something and be like, oh, I watched 7 minutes of it. No, if it's 30 minutes, I'm watching all 30 minutes. I'm going to watch it twice to make sure I don't miss nothing. So when I'm talking about it, I can talk about it from a perspective of seeing something in its entirety. So sometimes we'll watch 4 minutes of it, and we have a whole podcast about it. Well, how? You seen 5 minutes. How you can have a fully developed take on anything to do with what we had to watch? You didn't read that article. How you going to talk about it? You don't know what words were said in the article. You just talking. So for me, I like to stay informed by educating myself, reading what I got to read in its entirety, like not half-assing or skimming through stuff just to go post and say, oh, I talked about that. That's corny to me. What other podcast medias or personalities inspire you? Well, all of them, but Slim inspires me all the time. When he in his bag, like it's unmatched. Like it's just when he in his bag, he on go all the time. He inspired me. You got a young kid, Brandon. He inspired me. He reminded me of me. Just very consistent right now. Like every Friday he's dropping. Every Friday. I don't care whether you like the episode, don't like it. I like all of them, but if you didn't or did like it, he dropping, he consistent, he learning, he's okay learning. He want to know, like, how can I get better? What did I do wrong? Like, how you feel about the episode? What you think about this? Like, he asks questions. Tommy, he'll call you and tell you about his trials and tribulations. It inspired me to not mess my shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like, him hit me up and saying how he messed the episode up inspired me not to mess mine up, but also to be like, getting your P's and Q's because you don't want to waste time. You got Kim Macon, always inspired me. You got newly podcasting Donald Doe, him and his wife, Michael Doe, dope couple, dope individual. I was inspired in the beginning, even to talk about my dad as being my loved one, because I edited an episode for him and he was talking about his dad. Now he stopped for a minute. He had to stop. Because he couldn't get out what he wanted to get out, and I felt that. I'm like, yo. And that inspired me to talk with my dad early in the episode, because I would have picked my uncle or my grandma, like, because they passed away years ago, and I felt like I'm able to open up a little bit about that now. My dad is still hard because I'm still battling stuff internally within myself that I feel like I should have done. So even now, talking about it, you get teary-eyed. So, but I'm inspired by all podcasters, all creators. I get inspired by telling somebody, yo, you gotta step your shit up. This shit inspires me. When I tell a podcaster or a creator they ain't doing enough, that inspires me, man. Like it inspires me to get better, because I can't tell you need to do this and you need to do that if I ain't doing my job, if I ain't on my BS, if I ain't on what I'm supposed to be on. I can't tell you anything. So it's inspiring to me as well. How do you manage work-life balance with such a busy schedule? Do it. When you love what you do, some shit just come natural, bro. Like you love what you do. Like it's like asking the guy, like, oh, how do you have to do all this and then you fit in sex at the end of your night? You like sex, right? You wanna get that off, right? Well, I like podcasting. I like creating. So you gotta make room for it. You gotta make time for it. You know what I'm saying? You have to make time for that. And that's what I do. I squeeze in time. I don't care. I gotta lose some sleep. You know, but you gotta make time for that. Got to. Where was I at? What do you do to unwind and relax after recording an episode? Really, I chill, I edit. I got a pretty decent sized bathroom, So I sit on the step of the bathroom. I put like a little uh, a, a, a table there in front of me, my laptop there. I'll take a bath sometimes first. Sometimes I don't. I might just do it and run the bath water and then I jump in there afterwards. And I'll relax that way. I just watch the YSL case. Right now, I watch the YSL case. I sit back, I chill, then I get out, drive, and I start editing. And that's how I want. I make the video. I hate to do a video and not be able to put it out that same night or edit that same night and make a full. I hate that. So once I do a video, I normally 96% of the time I make the video that night. And that's why I'll record somebody at 7 and you'll see some of my story at 11:30. I don't be playing games. All right. Oh, wrong way. All right, maybe coming down to the wire. It's like the last maybe 10 minutes, I think, or something like that. 10 minutes. Maybe I got 13 minutes, something like that. If you could have any guest on your podcast, who would it be and why? Right now, as of right now, if you ask me that question right now, so right now it would be Sheriff Roundtree because I'm a firm believer in when people get out of office, you get the true version of them. So a lot of people interviewed him in office. Well, you had to interview Sheriff Roundtree, right? I want to interview the sheriff, but I want to know about the sheriff from Richard Roundtree, the real Roundtree. I don't want the person that's trying to stay in office or that's trying to protect their job or that's trying to be political. I want the real, raw, uncut version of how was the job? When you made the decision, what was your process? When this happened, what was your mindset? Why did you not help them people when they came down here to find them twins? Like, it's little stuff I'm gonna ask. I'm not gonna lie to you, but like, come on, why you ain't help them? But I need to know. So it'd probably be Richard Roundtree right now. How do you think your podcast contributes to the broader conversations happening in society today? Sometimes it does. It just depends on the guest I have. Like depending on the guest, sometimes they'll bring it up, and sometimes we'll talk about it. Mental health is a big thing, so I think that's one that helps. Thinking out loud helps, but as far as more than the masters, like it's always guest driven. So if what they do in their day to day aligns with something that's like a heavy conversation in society, then it'll work. But I think mental health is one, like that's a big deal right now. And we're tackling a lot of things, whether it's work mental health, whether it's being a black woman mental health, whether it's black men opening up mental health. We kind of tackling a lot of things at once in 90 minutes or less each time. So I try. I try. It's hard, but I try. What has been the funniest or most unexpected moment on your podcast? The funniest or most unexpected moment on my podcast. Funniest, I don't know. I had a lot of funny moments of myself, honestly. I'm a funny guy myself. But I'll tell you this, I can't give you that, but I can give you one time I was really pissed off, man. I did an episode and back then I would do the audio on this big computer and I was using Audacity at the time, and episode was amazing, man. I played music through the episode. We had a good conversation. It was, damn near perfect in my mind. I hit delete and I lost the whole episode. Very unexpected. It wasn't funny in the moment. I was pissed for days. But you learn, you live and you learn. Like that bothered me. I'm not gonna lie, that bothered me a lot. How do you stay motivated to keep producing new content? People, like y'all keep me motivated. I know when somebody say it, it sounds like a joke. I know, but I promise you, I'm not joking. Like, how can I don't even know how to say it. Like, people wanting to have the content means a lot to me. People hit me up when I'm not dropping something. It means a lot to me. People hit me up 2 in the morning, 6 in the morning, when I drop the episode at 12 a.m. just to kind of be funny and just drop and see what happens. And I wake up to tags on Facebook like, yo, this was a dope episode by man, da-da-da. And they adding their dialogue to the content already, which I didn't ask somebody to do yet. I didn't even post nothing from the episode yet, nothing at all. Like, cause what were you doing, at 12 a.m. to say, like, what did I do for you to be stopping what you're doing at 12 a.m. or start doing something at 12 a.m. and be like, you know what, let's turn this on. Like, what are you doing, or what have I done to get that kind of respect where you can throw something that I dropped at 12 a.m. on and actually watch it and then tag me and give you a dialogue to whatever I drop. That shit mean a lot to me. It mean a lot to me. And I love that. So I do it for those reasons as well. What impact do you hope your podcast has on your listeners? If nothing else, like if nothing else ever, I would want I want the podcast to be informative. So if it's nothing else, if it's not funny, if it's not entertaining, if it's not thought provoking, I want it to be informative. I want you to feel like you learn something with any episode you watch. I don't care if you learn something about me, about the person, about the city of Augusta, about life, about maybe you learn a new word. I don't care. Like long it's something informative, I'm cool with it. I'm decent. What's the most important lesson you learned through podcasting? I want to bring up a guy named Ben Hassan. Shout out to Ben Hassan, man. I get a lot of feedback from him. People who say that he's one of my biggest fans. Like, it was the times where people would call me and say, "Yo, Ben Hassan won't stop talking about you." So shout out to Ben Hassan. He's an amazing person. But he called me. It's not necessarily through podcasts, but listen to my podcast. He called and gave me some advice. I didn't take it. And I should have took it, but I didn't. I took it, but I didn't take it like I should have. And he told me a couple of times, like, I love what you're doing. I love what you do. But, I want you to continue to do what you're doing. So, and because I care about you and you're a young man, I feel like, you got a lot of potential. I want you to just slow down. Like, because you do a lot. You wake up at this time, you do this, you do that, you do that, you do that. Just slow down. And he said it a couple of times, and I didn't slow down, but I felt like I tried to. I might have stopped for 5 seconds. And then life slowed me the fuck down. Life definitely slowed me down. Starting from December 1st, life slowed me down. And then every other week after that, it slowed me down for about 2 months. And I really, really, I learned a lot of life through podcasting, where it's like, yeah, I probably should have slowed down way earlier to give myself more energy. Because once I had to slow down, I felt fatigued. Like I felt like, damn, if life didn't slow me down, I wouldn't have slowed down. I know it. I wouldn't have. What are some must-have equipment you recommend for a new podcaster? Get you a good mic, because the audio is important. But damn all that, I really feel like this. The main equipment you need is confidence. You need consistency. You need educate yourself, and you need to you need to be able to continue to learn as you're going when you're doing this kind of stuff. You can't just have one episode and think that you run the world. It don't work that way. Those are the main pieces of equipment you're gonna need, and those are all like mental things. The physical stuff is cool, but if the content ain't good, none of this stuff matter. If you ain't taking it seriously, none of this stuff matter. You're just wasting money and wasting people's time. They could be watching mine instead of watching you. How important are podcasts in our communities and society now compared to when you first started? Super important. Very, very important. Meaning, really, because podcast when I first started wasn't as prevalent as it is now. It's oversaturated, and people are getting ideas and life lessons from podcasts, which is insane. But people are listening to the podcast and actually taking what they hear in the podcast and applying it to their life. So it's more prevalent now that we say things that matter, that we watch what we say, we hold ourselves accountable in media, because back then it's fine. People wasn't going to search a podcast to find out I don't know, navigate life when they dealing with depression. So you have somebody that's joking about depression and saying like, "Yo, you should just blow your brains out." That's you can't talk like that. But you have people that will say that. You have to hold yourself accountable now. It's more eyes on podcasting now. So it's accountability there. When far as media, it's a reputable form of media now than it was when I first started. Podcast was just something they would like, whatever. If it wasn't podcast, what is one thing that you would want to come close? Oh, that if it wasn't podcast, what is one thing that you would do that would come close? Probably be a teacher. Probably be a teacher. I like educating. I want to educate and I want to impact people in groups. So having a classroom here, classroom here, classroom here. I love to impact people in groups or just impact people. And I think teachers impact and influence students every day. And I would love to do that. That'd be dope to go home knowing that whether you did a good or bad job today at work is all dependent on whether you influence somebody's life that isn't your kid. That'd be dope. That'd be dope. I'm almost done, I think. Yep. That's about it, man. I think that's all the questions. That's crazy. I don't know how I answer all the questions in that amount of time. Did you ever see yourself getting this far? Yeah, I'm done. That is crazy. I answered all the questions. Didn't think I would do that. Wow. But yeah, man. 100 episodes, man. I feel amazing. I feel great. At this point, man, I want to do 100 more. I want to do more. Let me know what y'all think about the episode. Let me know what y'all think about the questions. Let me know if y'all got any more questions. Let me know if y'all want me to do more question Q&A episodes. I'll do them. Should I incorporate them every once in a while? I'll do that. Let me know what guests y'all want to see on one of the masters. Let me know if you like the sweater. You know what I'm saying? The sweatshirt, rather. You know what I'm saying? Pretty dope, I think. Man, I appreciate every single one of you guys who watch the podcast. I appreciate everybody who takes what I do seriously and that gives me feedback on a day-to-day basis or week-to-week basis. I appreciate everybody who voted for me when I won, podcast of the year. I appreciate everybody who thinks that I'm one of the great media personalities around the city. It means a lot to me because, like I said, I don't have no media training per se. I learned it on my own, and I went with it. So it's always dope to people come here and say, "Yo, I was on a news station, but this was a better vibe." I'm like, the news? They got millions of dollars of equipment, millions, and you had a better time here. That's dope. Like it's dope to hear, man. This was dope, man. This was dope. Juanito, shout out to Juanito, man. Them questions fucked me up, man. That beginning fucked me up, bro. That really fucked me up. I ain't gonna lie to you. That messed me up. Oh my God. But yeah, man. More Message Podcast. We out. Wrapping up. Let's clap it up for me, man. Okay. Thank you.